So welcome to Cooking with Heart for Cancer. This is class 2. Donna, can you catch the door?
Sure.
So I'm just thinking there's going to be some noise coming in for that way. So good to see people here. So I am going to go ahead and let's see, unmute. You go ahead, Kelly. I have Gilda's Club here, who is a big supporter of these classes, and they're going to share just a smidget of the many resources they have. Let's see, are you seeing up there? You are. Okay, we're up there too. Yay. Okay, go, Kelly.
Can you hear me okay?
I can. I don't know. Can you guys hear? Okay, a little bit. We might need to work on the sound in the room, but go ahead and shout out.
That's okay. Well, thanks for having me. I'm Kelly Kraft, Program Manager at Gilda's Club. I just wanted to hop on for a few minutes today to let you know a bit about what we do. I'm going to go over just a quick basics and then go a little bit deep into a couple of things. And then my colleague Vicente will join you guys in a couple of weeks and let you know the rest. So in general, Gilda's Club Quad Cities is a cancer support community, and we provide 100% free social and emotional support to anyone impacted by cancer. So that means a person with a diagnosis right now, survivors, friends and family, kids and teens, anyone impacted by a cancer diagnosis. We have programs like support groups, educational workshops, healthy lifestyle activities like yoga and meditation, social events, and we're also a hub for resources and referrals. So today I wanted to touch on the support groups piece and our healthy lifestyle activities. So we have support groups for all the different folks that we serve. So we have Connecting Through Cancer group for anyone with a cancer diagnosis and survivors. And then we also have a friends and family support group for adult friends and family of someone with a diagnosis. And then some more specific ones, we have a Living with Loss group for folks who've lost someone to cancer. And then we also have a breast cancer group, a prostate cancer group, and a gynecological cancers group. And another piece with that is they all meet in person, but some of those groups in the coming months, we're adding a hybrid piece in so people can join in person and then also online if they want. And then I also wanted to touch on our healthy lifestyle activities. So we have 2 yoga classes every week. We have one traditional mat yoga with cancer kind of in the forefront of our minds. And then we also have a chair yoga class a week. So traditional yoga, but modified to be in a chair, which can be a lot more accessible to someone who's maybe never done yoga before and is a little nervous, or maybe a better fit for somebody who possibly has neuropathy in their feet and concerned about balance because they always can't feel what their feet are doing. And then we also have a meditation class once a month, and we have all sorts of different healthy lifestyle activities like art and craft classes. And they change all the time, so keep an eye on our calendar. In the past, we've had things like rhythmic drumming, laughter yoga, essential oils, all sorts of things. So that's what I have for you today. You can always go on our website, gildasclubqc.org, to find out more.
Thank you, Kelly. Awesome. So your mind might be exploding right now with all the things that Gilda's Club offers. So make sure you take advantage of that. So thank you so much, Kelly. So
and Teresa, how many folks do you have there in person?
We have 4 people here in person.
Oh.
So yes. So awesome. So we are so excited. Okay, so let me see if I can get, okay, I've got, I'm on screen there. Good. Up there. We're good. Okay. And can you guys hear me okay at home? Mary, can you tell me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine.
Yeah,
okay.
You're loud and clear.
Okay, you know what? How about if we keep, are you guys, this is a new sound for us in this room, but it's loud. So you guys will have to let me know at home if like it gets quiet and you can't hear or something funny, because we can actually hear here. So, and we can hear you because it's really important to hear you. And that was one thing I tested out because last week I couldn't hear you. And then when I listened to the recording, I heard you. I was like, ah! So, okay. So we're going to get started. So big thank you also to Trinity Foundation. They support this class, make it free for the community, the binders, just all the wonderful gems we have in this class. So big thank you to them. I am thrilled today to talk about phytochemicals and just explode your brain with things about colors and plants and all that they have to offer. And we're going to do rainbow wraps. And we're going to do some wraps that like you never even dreamed of. And then we're going to do broccoli, roasted broccoli from frozen, just in case you're like, what do I do for dinner for a vegetable? I have nothing in the refrigerator. You can always do roasted broccoli. So, okay. So I want to, let's try this out. Those at home, online, if you can send me in the chat, if you tried, not tried, just what spice you had this last week or herb that you had in a dish last week. Just share with the group. So send me in the chat or take yourself off mute and share with me. And those guys here, what spice or herb did you have last week?
Garlic.
Garlic, Therese said. Awesome.
Ginger.
Ginger, Elaine said. Awesome.
Basil.
Basil, Karen said.
Turmeric.
Turmeric. Oh, we're going to talk about that, Ernie. Turmeric. So let me see what we got in the chat here. It's just a little delay there. I had it and then I lost it. Okay, chat. Oh, okay. Let's see. I don't see anything there. Okay. Anybody have anything in the from home that they tried out? Okay, turmeric we got. Garlic, fresh garlic. Thank you, Jody. Thank you, Mary. Okay, awesome. Love hearing that. So, hey, here's the thing. It's as simple as that. Powerful, packed foods, plants, spices, herbs, anything. Okay. I've started putting cinnamon in my coffee. Like I have put the shaker right next to the coffee. So I remember to do that. So, you know, all those little steps add up. So today we're going to explore more about plants, but it's just as simple as that. So, okay, then I want to also hear from you about what you tried out last week, what action step you took and what you learned, because this is all about learning. Everything we do is a learning. Even if you didn't do your action step, that's a learning. So if you can send me in the chat any learning or take yourself out mute. So just tap the screen and tap the microphone because I have you unmuted. And we want to hear from you at home, what you tried out, what action step you put forward, what you learned, anything. Just a refresher, last week we did the home style beans and we talked about just phytochemicals, adding that to your plants and different things to your eating, and some of the myths, green tea and ginger and things like that. Cinnamon and tea, yum, yum. I see. I bought a donut pan to make the sunrise donuts, yum. Okay, tell us how that goes, Mary. Any learnings from the crowd here?
Yeah, I thought it was clever how you took a can of beans and then just partially mashed them with potato masher and then incorporated them so they look like ground beef. I thought that was really clever. And then the seasoning you had made it taste just like ground beef. So I thought it was a really good seasoning on that.
Elaine shared that she really liked the mashing, a little bit of the beans, and so that it really had that feel of ground beef and the seasonings too. And that brings up a great point, Elaine. The seasonings that I do for the dishes, I call them universal kind of flavoring. So you might have a different taste. That's okay. So I really want you to go, do I love this? No, not quite there. Okay, so do I need to increase it, decrease it? Play around with things until you really love them. So, and so last week it was kind of a traditional kind of, you know, home style Mexican kind of with a cumin, chili powder. I don't think I got a chance last week. I made a note to mention chili powder. Chili powder is a combination of spices made together, and sometimes they slip in salt. So the Tones and McCormick, they do. It's confirmed. They slip in salt. So I do not use Tones and McCormick for my chili powder. Instead, I use another off-brand where I can actually read the ingredients and see there's no salt added. So just know that chili powder, oftentimes they add salt. So make sure you're not getting salt added in there. So great observation. And yeah, so you tried it out, Elaine, because, you know I'm saying walnuts and beans, pinto beans, and you know, all these spices and red onions. Really, is that going to be like enough of a dish for, and you know, you tried it. So it comes together sometimes amazingly. So awesome. Okay. I love hearing from you. Okay. So, oh, I want to point out that, okay, here you signed up for the class. You're here. you were here last week or listened to it last week. You took an action or thought about an action and observed and learned from your action, maybe tried out a plant, added a little more, thought about it even when you added it in your normal routine. Those are all actions you took that are new, either thinkings or actions. And I want you, that's like 5, 6 already. Just in a week, you've taken 5, 6 new actions that you would have taken before you enrolled in this class. So you are on your way to healthy, more health, boosting your health. I had a conversation with somebody who went through Pritikin and dropped his cholesterol 100 points. 100 points. That's huge. No medication, just dropped it. And he was amazed. And he's like, you know, the hardest thing for me was to not just go for it. He's like, it was so hard to hold back and just do it like the tortoise, just little by little by little. He said, I'm just used to just when I want it, I go for it and I got it. And he's like, it's hard, this baby step. And I want you to know that is how it works, just little by little by little. This is something you want to sustain. Okay, so next week we're going to do meal planning. So meal planning, you know, there's books, programs, courses, all these things spinning your head around like, should I be doing that? And I'm going to get down to the basics, and what you need is a foundation, and then you can go from there. We're also going to talk about anti-inflammatory, because you hear that word thrown around a lot, and it's really hard to kind of like, what does that mean? I need to wrap my head around. How do I put that into practice? So we're going to talk more about that. And then we're going to do an Asian stir fry with a peanut sauce. And we're going to do smoky kale saute. One of my favorite spices is in that one. So that's a really great recipe. Okay, we are going to get going with then switching on over to the PowerPoint, where I've got ready for you some really fantastic facts. So I am going to, let's see, we need to switch this. Are we on wireless? We are. So I think we're good to go here. Let's see if I share my screen. And then we go to PowerPoint. And I think we're good for at home. I've got another, okay, I think we're good. So take yourself off mute if you don't see Treasures in Eating the Rainbow on your screen, the PowerPoint slide. So we're good up there? Okay, good. Okay. So, okay. So have you ever wondered about like Skittles and M&Ms and why the colors we're attracted to in them? And, you know, they purposely had all these bright colors. It's not just purple, it's not just blue, it's not just brown. It's all these bright colors because we're attracted to them. Okay, now the dopamine might be attraction there too, that we get in the sugar and the Skittles and the M&Ms, but Mother Nature did it right. Mother Nature did it the most beautiful. Now Skittles says eat the rainbow, but I think Mother Nature is the original creator of that. So now phytochemicals, they're naturally occurring in plants, and we talked a little bit about this last time. They are the protection for the plants against predators, against pests, against pollution, pathogens. So, you know, they're just like the hugest defense systems you could think of. If you want to think of armor or think of a tank rolling out, that's what they are for you. Now, research is ongoing in this area for phytochemicals, and I'm going to be honest with you, it's going to be slow going. Why? Because it's plants. I don't want to be the buzzkill here, but okay, there's not a lot of money for companies to research cancer in vegetables and fruits and seasonings and herbs, okay? They can't patent it, okay? And in order for us to have a well-done study, we've got to do experiments and observations and statistical analysis, and then we have to like do it a long time and have a wide variety of subjects, so to begin to show there's a health benefit. So that's why it's a really big challenge. And I just, what we have to do with these natural plants is look at the evidence, and if it looks to be fair, and we know that there's not any detrimental effect, then we go ahead and start incorporating them in and see how we feel and listen to your body. So there's about 25,000 chemicals that are named right now, phytochemicals. So far, we're estimating there's going to be about 40,000 when they're done. That's estimates right now. So here is a classification, and you don't have to memorize this, no test. I just want you to show you because, again, when you start reading the research on cancer and what it does, you're going to hear phytochemicals, phytocompounds, phytonutrients, they're all the same thing, come up. And the classification makes your head spin. They say flavonoids, polyphenols, you know, it's just like, oh my goodness, quercetin. And you're like, how does that fit in? Well, here's a classification chart that will help kind of organize that in your head. Okay, so a little more on the color of vegetables and fruits. They use them to signal the benefit that, you know, they're the signal that they have beneficial substance in them. So it's really a language of the plant kingdom. It's amazing. All these colors are naturally in the plant kingdom. And some of the colors work together synergistically and have an even more powerful effect. So now let's think about a question. If you want more power in what you're eating, do you want to eat one color a lot of or multiple colors in your diet? If you want a powerful anti-inflammatory, powerful antioxidant, powerful healing in your diet, is it one color you focus on or multiple colors? What do you think? I'm hearing multiple here. So yes, it's multiple. We need different colors, and we're going to go a little into depth today on that, but multiple colors, okay? So, you know, find out what you like, but see if you can find different colors, things that you like in different colors, because they do different things. Like I said last time, there's 50 different antioxidants, and they hit in different pathways. So you need different ones. So you need a variety. Here, I just got a list of the actions that plants do just in cancer alone. Now, I know that's very tiny to read, and again, you don't need to memorize this, but I want you to just be floored by all the actions that plants do. So I find it's really helpful to just get started to think, okay, I want to try for 2 colors most meals and snacks. 2 colors. Maybe you just focus on meals. Make it easy. But just start thinking, yesterday, what did I have? Did I have 2 colors? What would be an easy add in there? So also, the skin is oftentimes packed with a lot of the phytochemicals. Think about it. The skin is the thing nearest the predator, the pest, the pollution. So oftentimes those just are like have 70% sometimes, not all the time, but things like apples, eggplant, onions, peaches, those are all pretty packed in the outer rings there. So, okay, so antioxidants, we're going to talk a little more next time, but just think of them, they put out the fire that's produced by the inflammation. So that's what antioxidants do, and they are overflowing, and you're going to hear that again in all the different colors. So, you know, chronic diseases like heart disease, dementia, diabetes, cancer, all of them are helped by quelling your inflammation in your body. Okay, so now I'm going to go down through the different colors of the food groups of the fruits and vegetables, just to kind of give you a taste of the diversity in the colors. So we're going to start off with red. This is the red kind of pink color. And this has a carotenoid. You're going to hear carotenoid kind of come up in several groups, but it has one called lycopene in there. And it has also in the red, we have the anthocyanins, and that's going to come up in another group too. But just know that when we ever talk about carotenoids, the carotenoid is lutein, and actually, no, it's not lutein. Yeah, it's lycopene. Lycopene in the red pink is lycopene. It's a provitamin A, and your body converts it to vitamin A, a form of vitamin A, but it needs a little bit of oil, fat. Okay, it's what we call vitamin A is a fat soluble vitamin. So any fat soluble vitamin needs just a skosh of fat at that meal. A, D, E, K are all fat soluble. and A is a big one when we're talking antioxidants. So keep that in mind. This is one of many carotenoids that are powerful. And this one helps with the gene damaging free radicals that happen in our body. So we know this is strong for prostate cancer, heart and lung disease. It doesn't mean it's not powerful in the other cancers. I'm just saying the research right now looks the strongest in that area. Also in the fruits in this category, they tend to be high in vitamin C. So you want to eat them raw because you also don't want to cook them. Now, if we're talking tomatoes, because those are in this group, tomatoes we want to cook because it's that vitamin A in there that we want to break out and combine with the fat. Okay, so if it's a vegetable in this category, we usually want to cook it a little bit. And if it's a fruit, we want to eat it raw for the vitamin C. So we're talking strawberries, cranberries, raspberries, tomatoes, apples, red grapes, red peppers, red onions. So, just think tomatoes, we cook a lot. That's great. Now, it doesn't mean don't eat them raw. I eat them raw, but it just means cooking is a great way to get more out of them. Okay, yellow orange. Yellow orange has a carotenoid called beta cryptoxanthin, and it's a provitamin A carotenoid again, so really important. And this really helps with intracellular communication. A lot of complex stuff going on. It's another powerful antioxidant too. And so this is in carrots and sweet potatoes. And so those are things that are also good cooked because they're really high in that provitamin A. Now, again, when we have the fruit sources, those are best raw because they have vitamin C in them. So those are going to be things like the mango and the cantaloupe. Now, corn is in this category. Corn also has lutein, which is another carotenoid, and it's best cooked. So just, again, you don't need to, I don't want you to get too concerned with if you're cooking or raw. I'm just going to give you some guidelines. Bottom line, eat a lot of different colors. You can't go wrong that way. So green's a super powerful one. So we've got a lot of the cruciferous in there, which gives us a sulforaphane. We're going to talk more in the last class about that. The indoles and the isocyanates, which are super cancer blocking. So those cruciferous are there. We also have powerful antioxidants, vitamins K, C, and E in this group. And then we also have the dark green. And the dark green you're going to see in a moment has triple action, triple power in there, triple gifts. So we also have the chlorophyll in this group. And the chlorophyll is great for pollution and even things like metals that we're ingesting, getting those out of the body. So green is fantastic. And then the blue purple, very bright colored. We also have some anthocyanins in these that are in there. This one is also the category that most people have the most trouble with because our inventory of fruits and vegetables in the US don't have as many deep purple and blue. So for many people, it's going to be like blueberries, and I do that every morning in my oatmeal, but it's going to be like eggplant. It's going to be like purple grapes. It's going to be raisins. Purple cabbage is another good way to get it in. Elderberries, blackberries. So those are some ideas there, but just know this one takes a little more intention to get in there. It has ellagic acid, ELLAGIC. It's a flavonoid known to be very helpful for preventing cancer. It's also helpful for preventing heart clots for your heart. So a little trivia about this, and that has to do with blueberries. So the smaller blueberries, the wild ones, you see that in the store, and you see organic, and you see the regular conventional ones. I try when I can to get the wild because they're smaller. So they are cultivated from a species that is a little more diverse. It's had to survive on its own. It's still kind of grown indoors a little bit. It's not like people are foraging out in the forest for these wild blueberries anymore. That would be great, but they'd be super expensive then. But they just are cultivated from a longer, older kind of gene that to grow it with. They're smaller, so they also have a lot of flavor. So they have more skin. So that skin, more surface area, because they're smaller, gives us a lot of this great stuff in there. So I do sometimes grab this, you know, it's going to be a little pricier to get the wild ones. Sometimes I'll grab the traditional ones, you know, it's, you know, I rotate, but I'm just telling you, there's a little more power in the wild ones there. Okay, so the last category is the white tan brown. So this one has the allicin that we know for kind of penicillin-ish activity, antibacterial, anti-tumor, and then it has a couple phytochemicals called quercetin, that's a Q, and camphorol, which are super for cancer and immune system. So these are things in onions, garlic, cauliflower, mushrooms, radishes, parsnips. So, okay, so now you're just like, oh my goodness, all these colors, all these things, it's great. So raw or cooked, a little more on that, because I do get a lot of questions about that. In general, you want to just, it doesn't mean don't eat tomatoes raw, eat them raw all the time, especially the grape ones. But it means think about incorporating some dishes that they're cooked. I mean, super great soups with tomatoes and corn and carrots. So cooking them is really gets the most absorption of what they have to offer. And then those other ones there, slightly cooked. It releases a lot out into the plant from the cell wall. So you don't have to, again, cabbage, we're going to prepare it today raw. That's fine. It still offers a lot of benefit. Then your cruciferous, we're going to talk more about that in class 4, either raw or steamed. Just lightly steamed releases some of those isocyanates and sulforaphanes and indoles. So, but raw, we combine a little raw, then we get more, and you know, you'll know more in class 4 about that. So in general, cruciferous, we just want a little steamed. And then you're thinking, well, then I can't roast. Oh, roast. It's delicious. It caramelizes, and we're going to roast today. I roast a batch every single Sunday of peppers and mushrooms and whatever else I have in the house, butternut squash. So it just brings out great flavor and it does great things. So, you know, do what you need to do to eat it, first of all. And secondly, have a variety if you can. So we do know some of the cooking releases short periods, some of the more available kind of power gems in them, but don't let that like stop you from doing things like roasting and eating raw. Okay. So here's some action steps I just want to run by you to start thinking about as we're halfway through the class. Next trip, look at your shopping cart. That's just an easy thing. Does it look colorful? Okay. So do you want to add a couple more colors in there so you see the rainbow? When you go to the produce, when you go into the store, do you go into the produce section first? For some people, that really helps put the emphasis on, I need to fill my cart with fruits and vegetables. Purchase a frozen fruit or vegetable so that you have it on hand. You got to have these on hand if you're going to eat these, put these into your body. Try out a recipe and tweak it so that it's something that you love. Maybe one from last week, maybe one from this week. Purchase a fruit or vegetable that's in a color that you're maybe missing a little bit. Plan a meal with at least 2 colors in the next week, or make your own action step. Okay, so these are not ones that you need to be tied to. These are just suggestions. And then think about, how confident are you? Are you thinking, I'm pretty sure I can do it? Like on a scale of 0 to 10, I'm at an 8. Okay, that's good. But if you're down at a 4, I'm not sure, then either break it down to a smaller action step or try another one. So, okay, time to get going. So we are going to flip on over back here. And I'm going to see if I can get you guys back. There we go. Device settings. Okay, sorry, I'm going to talk out loud as I go through this. This is all new to me. So let's see. Room camera. And let's go to camera 2. See if we get, yay, you guys got here. So I am going to invite Donna to step up in. If you can watch yourself there, we can, let's see if we get you a little bit better. Oh, that's up there. Sorry, that's up there. It's not going to matter. Okay. So she is going to, for you, you remember I said some of the colors add up to triple power. So she is taking yellow there, which remember yellow is lutein, like corn, and vitamin C it has in there. Orange is it's a phytochemical called, it begins with a Z, zeaxanthin, and it has beta carotene in it. Pumpkin, cantaloupe are high in that. And then we have the light green there. So, and that has the chlorophyll. And let's see what happens when we mix them together there, just playing around with paints. So when we mix them together, we get a green sort of coloring. Now, Mother Nature, of course, picks a little different ratio of things here, but if you can think of dark green truly is 3 colors in one. We just didn't realize it because our eyes aren't picking that up. So that's going to be in vegetables like spinach, kale, that have more than if you had them individually, more than if you had corn just sitting there. You get more in the dark green. Dark green lettuce, Swiss chard, peas, these all have triple power in them, and just amazing how that happens. So, you know, keep that in mind. Spinach for me is super easy. I always have that in the refrigerator ready to throw into things. Dark green lettuce, I tell people, I don't care if it's $1 more. Don't get the iceberg, get the dark green. It's got more power for you. So thank you, Donna, thank you. So we're gonna get going with the broccoli florette so we can get that thrown in. So, okay. So what I want you to do is we can do this from raw broccoli, fresh, or we can do it from frozen, but I want you to feel confident in grabbing some frozen broccoli just in case you haven't had time to go to the store or you know, it's the end of the week. So have it on hand to roast it. So now roasted broccoli, I don't know, if you haven't had it, you got to do it. You got to put that on your doing the next week list, because roasted broccoli is nothing like fresh raw broccoli. It just completely different flavors develop with that high heat. So very aromatic. There's actually hundreds of compounds that develop there. So, okay, let me see where I'm best. I'm best here. I want to make sure you guys are seeing me at home. Okay. Okay. So we're going to use broccoli florets. Make sure it's not just broccoli frozen. Broccoli florets, and make sure there's no salt added to it. So this is a 10-ounce bag. Your recipe's kind of done from a 12-ounce. They're always changing them up. You can have this if you want to. So it's no big deal. This is a real general recipe. You can do roasted broccoli without oil too. Now I do just a skosh with oil. Here's a couple of reasons. Because I'm not afraid of oil, and olive oil is very good for us. It is packed though with calories, okay? And it's like 400 times more calories than broccoli, you know, in a way. So it's just a lot more. It's very more caloric dense, but a little bit used strategically is going to help you absorb any of those fat soluble vitamins too. So again, being strategic, but if you know you're going to have fat at your meal that you're eating this at, and you want to do it dry roasted, go ahead, that's fine. So, okay, I'm going to grab my broccoli because you take it straight from frozen. Do not thaw it. So here's about 12 ounces that the recipe you have calls for. And then I'm just going to use this olive oil. I can talk more when we have more time about olive oils, but olive oils, it's very important that you get extra virgin, and it's truly extra virgin, and that's the catch there. But extra virgin means it is manually pressed, extruded from the fruit of the olive, rather than chemically extracted. And you lose some of the super gems when you chemically process olives. So, so we're just going to, I'm going to add that, and I'm just going to toss it. And yeah, I know not every little piece is necessarily going to get them, but it works, guys. So we're just going to toss it there. This is the same thing you do with raw, okay? So I usually do 6 cups chopped and then toss it. And then we're just going to, I'm just going to put some out here. I want to show you what the trick is for roasting and what the trick is for frozen. With frozen, you didn't get to pick florets, Okay, the machine or whatever picked the florets. They're going to be different sizes, and that's where you need to take over and take out the little itty bitty ones that'll get burnt and just suck up your room on your baking sheet. So what do you do with those? You save them and then put them in a marinara sauce, okay, or a soup or something. So, but you want the same size basically, and you want them about a half an inch-ish apart. You don't want to just pile them on there. So if you have a huge honking piece, sometimes you get this huge like half tree there. You put that down and then you're going to let it cook for 15 minutes, take it out and chop it in half because you don't want to fight the knife right now. So we're just gonna, this is like half, a third a batch here. I just want you to see what it looks like. So I took out the little bits. It doesn't look like I have any too wonkin' hot big ones. They're close. I know there's some differences there, but I think we'll be okay. So then I'm going to sprinkle on mustard. I highly recommend you do this. You're going to find out in the 4th class why, but just do it, okay? If you don't skip it, that's okay. But, and then if you want salt, because salt does bring out flavor, salt is not evil, but we just have way too much. I'm just going to do a shake of the salt and then we're done. That's it. Use parchment, not aluminum foil. I do not put food anymore right next to on high heat on aluminum foil because we're not sure about all the kind of changes that happen. So I always put parchment. So it does mean you need to trim your edges of the parchment so you don't want to have a fire in your oven if you have this like overflowing piece. So I've learned that the hard way. So we're going to put this in here. Again, if you have a huge honking piece, you're going to want to put it for 15 minutes and then take it out, cut it, and then put that. But 25 minutes tends to be on the top shelf, close. And I want to show you, we are going to, can somebody on their phone give me 10 minutes? Because we're going to put this in 10 minutes because I want it to be warm for you guys. This is cool down, and cool down roasted broccoli is not the best. So, but you can see how this shrunk up, those at home. So, and you can see how we got those dark brown. You'll want the dark brown. Those are the pieces everybody goes for first. But do you notice how almost every piece has dark brown on it? Okay, that is an art that you're going to learn because most people don't know it and most Pinterest people don't know it either. Okay, so ignore many of the instructions online about just throwing all the food on your plate, on the baking sheet and putting it in the oven. You need to put a little room around things and you need to have the same height. So this is what you want. Okay, and I can reheat this. We're going to reheat this for just like 10 minutes. So it'll be warmed up and we'll eat it. Now at home, when I make roasted broccoli, it rarely ever makes it out of the pan because everybody eats it. So it's really good. Okay, now time to do some wraps. So we're going to go with some wraps here. I'm going to real quickly go through, I know we've got about 20 minutes left, but we have plenty of time to do these wraps. These are super easy, delicious. And you're going to want to get all the ingredients for them. I know that. So, okay, let me real quickly, before we get going on putting it together, I want to review and have you show me, how do you do an onion? Okay, take me through. How do you do an onion? So what do I cut off first? Do I cut the stem or the root first?
The North Pole and the South Pole.
Yes. Okay, the stem. We're going to cut the stem off. Okay. And we've got our solids side down, flat side down. Then what do I do next? Cut it in half through the root. Don't cut out the root, but cut through it. Now I've got 2 halves. And then now I can peel back. And if you wanted to use a red onion in this, you could, because I try and use red onion a lot because red onions have that anthocyanins in them. So, this has a lot of good kick anyway. So if you want more kick, do a red onion. Okay, and then this next cut, if this is really super fat, then I'll do 2 horizontal cuts. But I'm just going to do 1. You might have to shimmy it. Make sure you have a sharp knife. Do not go all the way through the root. Just take it out. And now we're going to do cuts from the root, not through it, but from it, just down kind of the veins of the onion, kind of like, I don't know, an umbrella. I don't know why, but that's what comes to mind. So now we're ready. It's holding together. Now we're just going to, however big we want to chop, we can just do this. So that's how you get your pieces. And you may cry, but most of the time you don't, okay? Because the juice is in the up here in the root. And if we don't kind of disturb it, we usually are okay. So, okay. So I just want to make sure you knew how to do that, because that's so important to be confident and quick. So, okay, let's put together. Okay, let's get our tortilla. So we're just going to get our tortilla, and we're going to use some hummus here. I just did store-bought. You can make it. Sometimes you just don't have time. Store-bought's going to have more salt, more oil, but still, it's beans. It's you know, and they're not going to use the olive oil that I would use, but I'm going to let that pass. So find the lowest sodium one you can. We're going to put about 1/4 cup on here. You don't need to go to the edges. You just kind of go around it because it'll squeeze itself out. So we're going to go close, but not quite. There we go. Okay, next, the dressing. Sweet Vidalia onion, super easy. You can make the dressing I have. I have a new dressing this class series that's easier than the last one to make, and I love it. It's got walnuts in it. I use it as a dressing for salads and just on sandwiches and things like that. So that one's a doable one to make if you want to do a homemade version. In a salad dressing like this in the store, we don't know their source of vegetable oils, and usually it's not the best, but we only use a little bit. So that's where I'm like, it's okay. We're using a little bit. This is easy. The only store around here anymore that carries the light version is Target. So with the regular version, you're gonna get 1 more gram of saturated fat, 1 less gram of sugar. Interesting how that happens, but I'm just telling you, it's okay to get the regular. We're only gonna use like 2 tablespoons here. So I'm just gonna pour approximately 2 tablespoons, real careful there. There we go. And then I'm just gonna spread that around here best I can. So that's the basis of it there. Okay, so we're good to go there. So next, we're going to start layering things. Oh, I want to show you the cabbage. So cabbage here, red cabbage, green cabbage. How you store it is a damp paper towel over the root. Where is my root here? There it is. Over the root and around it, but make sure you cover the root. It needs that moisture to keep kind of alive. And then you can keep it in the bag you get at the store, or you can, I have baggies I recycle all the time. Just kind of seal it. You don't have to completely seal it. So that's how you store it. I want to show you how we cut strips. So this is different than making coleslaw. And I'll show you that in the last class, how to do that. But what we're going to do is we want strips. See how I have strips here that we're going to use, straight strips for our wrap. So in order to do that, I want to cut the head off. Okay, so just hold your breath. We're going to cut the head off. Here we go. Here we go. We cut the head off like that, okay? What we do next is we just take a couple layers off of here, just kind of 3, 4 roughly, just kind of work that off. And then we want to flatten it best we can, okay? So get that down and hold it down. Get your sharp knife. And now you can do slivers, long slivers, so that it's much easier to put in a wrap for a nice look. Could you shred it and put it in there? Of course, yes. But this just gives it a nice touch look. So that's what we do there. So we'll just use some of this to get started. Put that there. Let's get this off. We got our nice, see that nice blue there. So you can get that off with lemon if you ever get like on your cutting board. So, okay. So we're just going to make a line. I usually just kind of go the center and a little bit in. Cabbage is so important. I'm gonna make sure I get my full layer of that. Okay, green, dark green lettuce. Green lettuce like romaine last week, and just like the cabbage, damp paper towel over the stem here, and just cover that, put it in a loose bag. You see how I even have it sticking out? It's okay. So this is what you do to make your romaine and your deep lettuces stay a lot longer. Just take a couple leaves off, and again, just do strips. I like the strips. It looks nicer when you do it. You can shred it though if you want to and just do little pieces or whatever. It's going to work either way, but I just tried to get nice longer pieces here. Okay, so then next we're going to add some orange. So we've got the shredded carrots. You could, peel carrots if you wanted to. Either works. I'm just trying to show you how easy this is. We can make this in like minutes. And then a vegetable that you forgot you even could have around is roasted red bell peppers. These are in citric acid and water, not in olive oil, okay? So this is a great way to just add a vegetable in. So now, if you're gonna make this in the morning though, I would probably use fresh red pepper because it's going to get a little moist, add moistness to this so that by lunchtime, it just might be a little moister than you'd like. You'd have to play around with it though. My daughter did it once and she loved it. So you just figure out what works for you. Then we're gonna have onions that we chopped up and we're just gonna sprinkle that on there a little bit. And you see, I'm just kind of taking 2 inches right here instead of like trying to cover here. It just tends to work, I find, easier to work with. If we want to, we could add a little cilantro. That's always a nice touch, and another plant in there. It's up to you. So, okay, so rolling this, it's really simple, guys. We're just gonna flip this over here and we're gonna tuck it like we're tucking that blanket tightly on your newborn, okay? So we're just gonna tuck that in. It'll stretch a little bit, tortillas do. So we're just tucking, and you can see how it squeezes out, so it's gonna seal itself. So there we go. So usually I cut in half, and then the end pieces I eat myself because they're not quite perfect. So here we go, just like 3 pieces here. And let me show you at home what this looks like. So there we go. Doesn't it look delicious? So you can modify this however, but I just wanted you to see that you can do this quickly. That lettuce you could do in a snap, the onion, the cabbage, and anything left over you can use for tons of dishes the rest of the week. So this is super easy, delicious. I serve this all the time. I've made this for demos for college students. They love it. So this is just a fun, easy, delicious, rainbow colored, powerful dish. So, okay, I am going to put this on a plate and then we are going to show you some other super cool options for wraps, because the tortilla here is a tortilla, which is an enriched product, which is pretty close to sugar. I know you're like, no, Teresa, it's not sugar. Well, your body actually converts this tortilla into sugar pretty quickly, guys. So even if you get the whole wheat ones, which don't taste very good, they still convert pretty quickly overall to sugar in your body. They're also, I mean, this whole tortilla, I think, is like 200 calories full of carb, and it's just not, it doesn't have fiber, like true standing in your gut good fiber. So what do? Hey, it's fine to use the tortillas as you're transitioning, but if you want some ideas that are different and maybe even better tasting, I don't know, you be the guide. I have some ideas for you. So I'm gonna actually, let me just get another cutting board. This is what happens. Oh, awesome. Okay, let's get it. Okay, go ahead. Let me open that up. We're slipping in the broccoli.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, let me get you back this. So Donna is going to show you, and is this your first time?
This is my first time.
She's going to show you how to do another wrap option. This is seaweed, okay? So go ahead and take hummus and put on half. Okay, this is one of many ways you can do a seaweed wrap. Have you done seaweed, Ernie?
Never again.
Okay. Okay, is it the taste? You can't? Okay.
Maybe.
Well, you tried it. That's the important thing. My kids love seaweed. They take it in their lunches for snacks. Okay, so then we're gonna let's put on a little hummus. I mean the dressing, sorry. Just a little, maybe more like 1 tablespoon, and then spread that around. Perfect. Okay, and then she's gonna use some turmeric rice. What that is brown rice. So if you don't have a rice cooker, I recommend it for brown rice, or you could use quinoa. You use the minute brown rice. It's parboiled. It takes only 10, 12 minutes to make. And then we mixed in
a half a teaspoon into 1 cup of rice of the turmeric. We'll talk more about that. And a little bit of black pepper. Those are a magical combination. And then we're going to go ahead just less, but put some of the cabbage, just put it, and we're going to go this direction. So, yeah. So diagonal with this. It'll make sense in a second. Perfect. Green lettuce.
Attention, please. Your attention, please. An alarm has been reported on floor 1 south. Your attention, please. Your attention, please. An
Little
alarm has been
red
reported
pepper,
on
yes.
floor.
So we're just a little less, because this is all 1 serving. So you're not going to cut this up into the little pinwheels. So, and finish off with just a little bit of onion there. Okay, now to wrap this, I like to think of fish and chips. So she's going to go from this corner over here and just wrap. We're not going to tuck the ends in or anything. We're just going to wrap and go tight as you can. It's a little more fragile than a tortilla. And how you seal it is just water. We're going to take a little bit and on that last little corner, and then she's going to hold it there and press it like she's stopping the bleeding, like you have a little cut and you're going to put a Band-Aid on. So you just press, hold. Okay, let it go and see if it's holding together. There it is. So there you go. So this would be something you could eat. We can cut it in half. You just got to be really gentle. So
Oh, that's pretty.
there you go. So that's another option. This only has 10 calories, 1 sheet, but the main thing is it's minimally processed. It's just seaweed pressed. That's it. There's no all this paragraph of ingredients and refined carb and stuff like that. So it's actually got iodine. It's got a little bit of omega-3. So it's a great option. Okay, are you ready for one last option or last 4 minutes, guys? Thumbs up. You ready? Okay, one last option. This is a great one. So, okay, let's go ahead and get a plate. Okay, so this one is an option. Let me just brush this off. That we actually use a lot at home too. The kids love using it. And it is rice paper. Okay, you can get this at Walmart or Hy-Vee. It's super inexpensive. I think this whole pack was $2 or something. It's like confirmation wafers to me. And really big though. Okay, and it kind of tastes like that. So don't get your hopes up. The thing about this is it's a carrier for what you put inside. Now, we can't roll it right now. Instead, Donna's going to take it and run water just over both sides real quick. You can dip it into a pan with water, dip it down and up. Just make sure it immerses. You got both sides?
Yep.
Perfect. We're going to come over here. And that water is going to soften it. And over time, you're going to, let's see, I'm
Need to get a little more.
maybe just a skosh
Okay.
more. You got to make sure you get the whole thing because the water is what really softens it. Now, this is a very common spring roll at some of the Asian restaurants. They're going to fill it with things like shrimp, tofu, noodles, and veggies. A lot of fresh veggies like mint, cilantro, things like that, basil. So you can feel it's starting to soften. So go ahead and just put some like cabbage and lettuce. You're not going to put hummus and the dressing because that's going to be too soggy. So this is something you do just before you eat it. And my kids love taking noodles and putting noodles in there. And they'll put veggies too, cabbage and a little tofu, shrimp. They love the mini shrimp, the small shrimp. So maybe a little cilantro, basil is very common, mint in there. So, and then just go ahead and start to play with it. She hasn't ever played with it before, so she's got it. It's all new. So you can do it like a burrito, do the ends and then roll it. And then you'll dip it. A lot of times in the Asian cultures, they might have like a soy sauce, rice vinegar, garlic kind of dip, or maybe a hot mustard kind of dip, sriracha, that kind of thing. So, but just using this very lightly to dip it in with some hummus, maybe even mix the two. So would be really good. So what do you think? This is her first time rolling it.
Pretty easy.
Yeah. So it's something you could do.
It
And
seals too.
it seals by itself. It just sticks. It's so cool. And again, I think these are like 10 calories. It's just rice flour, maybe a little bit of tapioca, but it's so minimal because it's only 10 calories. It's not contributing a lot. And it's a great way to have a carrier for the things we really want to get in you. So that's another option, super inexpensive. It lasts forever. You could, in theory, take this to work and just, if you have a sink, put it together, have all the whatever fillings you want and just roll it. So there you go. You never knew all the things that you could do that are available right here in our grocery stores. So what action step is it you want to do? Again, this is a journey. The pace you go doesn't matter. So it's just about keeping on with another step, another learning, another step, another learning. Keep going. So I'm learning too. I'm making changes in my eating, my exercise, just trying to integrate what I learn and knowing myself. So if you can send in the chat what your intent is for this next week, what's really at the top of your mind for something to try out, to put into action, or it's something that you're ready and a small baby step to do that you've been itching to do. So anything here with people here?
Try that new wrapper.
Okay, which one? The rice wrapper?
The rice, that one.
The rice wrapper. Okay, Elaine's gonna try the rice wrapper. So let's see, we got some chat here, it looks like. And Pat, looks like you're there. You can take yourself off mute and we can see, hopefully I can hear you. I can't hear you right now. Okay, I don't see any. Go ahead and send me anybody. If you're at home, if you can take yourself off mute, I'd love to see if I can hear you. At the beginning, I was hearing you, but I want to make sure I'm still hearing you. I see you're all unmuted, muted, so you need to unmute yourself. There we go. Dennis?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Hello.
Oh, we heard you. Yes. Awesome. We can hear you here. So awesome. Did you have a chance to think of something that you want to try out, put into practice?
I plan on trying them out everything, but I have to get groceries first.
Get groceries first. Yes, that I highly recommend. So great. Okay. Anybody else want to share? If you're comfortable.
I have a question.
Yes.
I have friends that insist that when I go to get vegetables that they be organic instead of the other stuff that's available for about half the price. What is your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, fruits and vegetables, eating them versus not eating them, to me is like a barge size versus a Fiat size, okay? There's just no comparison. If you've got to eat vegetables and fruits, no matter the form, the power they bring to your body is way outweighs anything to do with conventional or organic. Now, if I had the means and the availability, sure, I do organic, but I don't have the budget. And secondly, we don't have the availability of everything organic. So, you know, there's the dirty dozen lists. Be careful of those because they are created as a conversation piece and they always have to list 10 and they're always well below the EPA level. So, you know, so yes, organic would be better and we don't have time to go into that, but still anything is better than nothing. And this last week, I don't think I got anything organic. I mean, I had lots of fruits and vegetables in my cart, but I just make sure I eat lots of fruits and vegetables, period. So I know that is the most important thing by far than if they're organic or not. So now if flavors and farmers market, that's a whole nother topic. So those are great things to do, but they take a different intentionality and time. So, but hopefully that helps you understand where it's best for you right now.
That makes sense. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Any other questions? And I know we're over, so if anybody needs to leave, totally understand. So, and we're gonna have some tasters for some people here. Other questions? And thank you guys for those at home for your patience as we figure this out. I think we got a little bit better. We're going to work on some more things, but I think we're getting closer to a manageable kind of experience for you guys. So thank you so much. And we'll see you next week where we'll talk about inflammation and meal planning and stir fry and saute some kale.